Okay, 2.9 notes. Here we go. The key is online, but here are the explanations on how to. We have this vocabulary word is called linear, equality. Then we have boundary, half plane, and test point. So those are all terms you're going to see. So fill those in, put it on pause. Okay. So let's do some visual boundary problems here. So when we have a dotted line, that means your inequality sign is going to be either this symbol or this symbol. Okay. When you have a solid line, you have the equals to with it. So that's your symbols with your dotted and your closed lines. And then this test point here, so typically you should use 0, 0 unless 0, 0 goes through that, but your test point is a point that is on to like the right of your line or at the bottom of your line. So really it could be any point whatsoever, and you want to see if that statement's true. And if I've lost you, I can promise you, let's look at an example and you're going to understand. Okay, so that's what you kind of fill in there. Now we want to do some example practice questions here. So they've already graphed it for us, which is nice. We want to use our test point. So notice how this dotted line, it does not go through 0, 0. So we're going to use 0, 0 and plug in 0 less than 0 minus 2. And we want to see, is this a true statement? Is 0 greater than negative 2? Hopefully you're saying yes, it is. So this is true. Therefore, you want to shade in where 0, 0 is. Okay. Here, again, we want to plug in 0. So 0 greater than or equal to, this all becomes 0 plus 1. Is 0 greater than 1? No, this is false. Therefore, this cannot, 0, 0 cannot work. So we want this. Okay, is 0 less than negative 2? See why 0 is always the easiest? Again, if your line goes through 0, 0, you cannot use it. You have to pick another point, any point you want other than the points on that line. Okay, it's a dotted line because see this inequality? Is 0 less than negative 2? No, that's false. Therefore, you cannot shade where it's 0, 0. Oops, I kind of got outside the line there. Can't erase it, but you get the idea. Here is 0 less than or equal to, this is 0 plus 1 is 0. Yes, it is. So you have to shade where 0 lies. So shading is actually easy. If you want to use a colored pencil, feel free to do so. All right, now this guy wants you to graph us. So graph it and then go from there. So hopefully we can all graph a line up 1. So this is your starting point. And then we want to go down 2, right 1, or up 2, left 1. So here is your line, and I'm going to do my best. We have a solid line because the inequality says, hey, it's equal to as well. Okay, so when it says boundary line, that's your solid line. Your test point, we are going to use 0, 0. Okay. Is 0 greater than or equal to 1? Hopefully you're saying you know. So you cannot shade where it's 0, 0. Okay, let's look at example 2. It's the exact same line, except this one's going to be a dotted line. So we're at 1, down, dotted, 2, dotted line, and then that's what we fill in there. And our test point, again, we're going to do 0, 0. Okay, is 0 less than 1? And hopefully you're saying yes. So you get to shade that in. See, easy peasy, right? Hopefully you're saying yes. All right, everybody loves word problems, right? So Tina is going to buy P pounds of pasta. So P is pasta salad and C is chicken salad. The pasta salad costs $4. So $4 for pasta and $6 for the chicken. So we have $4 for one of them and then $6 for the other. You could put money sign if you want. It's me, money sign. That's really ugly and I'm wasting time. Money. There. All right. They said Tina has at most $28 to spend, so she cannot spend any more than $28. So you can spend exactly $28, but not more than. So we want a plus symbol here. Okay, so that's just, I wrote down what the word problem is telling us. Now it's saying, hey, let's write the inequality. So we have 4P plus 6C has to be less than or equal to 28. Now we want to solve for P. We want to solve for your pasta salad. See, P is your Y, technically your Y axis. So we want to get P by itself so we can graph. Okay, so how do we go about doing that? Well, you have to take this guy and move it over. So if it's a positive 6C, we want to do negative 6. Right? So we have 4P, your symbol, negative 6C plus 28. Well, how do we get 4 by itself? Well, hopefully you're saying, hey, we got to divide. Divide by 4, right? And that goes away. Negative 6 divided by 4, that reduces to negative 3 over 2. And then 28 divided by 4, hopefully you're saying 7. So here is your equation. This is what we want, right? So we want to graph this, starting at 7, which is right here. And then we want to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 2, 1, 2. One more time, 1, 2, 3, right 2. All right, now you have to ask yourself, open or closed line, or solid or dotted. We have a solid line. And then, again, do your test point. Let's do 0, 0 as our test point, okay? And we want to see which way are we going to shade. Is 0 less than or equal to 7? Hopefully you're saying that is true. Therefore, this is your shaded region. See, I got outside my little... No. Oops. So I shouldn't have shaded that little square right there. It should be underneath the solid line, but you get the idea. Okay, so let's look at this one. This graph, we have our absolute value. We are already identified. We know the vertex is going to be 1, negative 3. Hopefully you guys are familiar with this, okay? 1, negative 3, that's this point. Pick, you can draw the axis of symmetry if you want to help you. It's right there. This is my axis of symmetry in black. So I'm going to pick a number to the right of it. So let's do 2, right? Or no, let's do 0. 0 is always easier. So 0 minus 1, that is negative 1. Negative 1, absolute value of that is 1 times negative 2, which is negative 2 minus 3. So that's negative 5, right? So we have 0, negative 5, and then this is what our graph looks like. It's going down. Hopefully you knew that by looking at the negative symbol here. Ooh, I missed my dot, but you guys get the point. Now we have to decide our boundary. Did we want a solid or dotted line? Well, I drew solids, and so I was correct. It's solid because of this symbol. And then we need to know what area to shade. Again, plug your point in 0, 0. Is 0 greater than or equal to negative 2, absolute value 0 minus 1 minus 3. So this is negative 1, absolute value of negative 1 is 1, 1 times 2, that's negative, 2 minus 3, that's negative 5. So is 0 greater than or equal to negative 5? Is this a true statement? Yes, it is. So therefore, wherever 0, 0 lies, that's what you want to shade. So it's all of this around your graph. Let's do this guy. Now, y is not by itself, so that's a problem for me. I need to take 4 and move it over. So this becomes negative 4. Get rid of that. Now, y is still not by itself. We have to divide. Therefore, when we divide by a negative, okay, your sign changes. Y less than, you have negative absolute value of x plus 2, close your absolute value, plus 4. There, now our y is by itself. So your vertex is negative 2, 4. Negative 2, 4. Hopefully you're telling yourself you're going to have a dotted line. That's what dotted. Okay, and then pick an x to the right. I'm going to do 0. Like I said, 0 is always the easiest. So 0 plus 2, that's 2. Absolute value of 2, this is negative. 2 plus 4 is 2. So 0, 2. And then I moved 1, 2 units. So 1, 2 units, exact same number there. And we've already established dotted lines, right? That's what our graph looks like. Okay, now we want to plug in 0 and see, are we going to shade on the inside or the outside? So is 0 less than 0 plus 2, that's 2, absolute value, that is, so it's going to be 2. Is 0 less than 2? Yes, it is. Therefore, we want to shade on the inside of this little guy. Here you go. So just follow the arrows and stay on the side you need to be. Okay, writing an inequality. So this isn't too bad either. We have to find our y-intercept, which here it's at 1, so you know it's going to be plus 1. Let's find our slope. We go down 1, right 2, so we have negative 1/2 x. That's plus 1, and then y, and then we need our inequality symbol. So how you do that is, let's test it. Let's throw this guy, y is less than this. Well, let's see, is 0 less than 1? And it is. Therefore, this is your inequalities. It's a dotted line, so there's no equal to. Okay, number 7. Where's my vertex? It's right here, right? So I need my vertex is negative 1, so it's absolute value of x plus 1 plus 4, because my vertex is negative 1, 4. It is pointing down, so we have to have a negative. Okay, and then your slope here is 1, and that's what the vertex tells you, so there's no compression or stretch at all. Now we have to identify our symbol. So we have, we want to do 0. You could do a box if you wanted to. And then what's 0 plus 1? That's 1, absolute value of 1. So it's negative 1 plus 4, right? So this would be 3. Now, is 0 an actual solution? No, it's not. So therefore, this cannot be a true statement. So you would want to write it in terms of a false statement. So 0 greater than or equal to 3. That's false. And that's what we want. It's a closed dot, so it's equal to. This is your equation. All right. Last one, go check it out online. I have 20 seconds. Graph it. This one, guys, think about it in terms of money. You can't have negative, well, you can have negative money, but it's not reasonable to have negative items and negative money. And then this part down here, 3 to 2, if you figure out how much all of that would cost, it's going to be more than the $450 the person has. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.